Hey, good Friday afternoon, everybody. Eric here from LiveAquaria with my trusty sidekick, Ian, on the camera. We wanted to bring you Puffer Week from LiveAquaria. We've got about 6 different types of freshwater puffers in right now, and we're excited to show these to you. We have the king of freshwater puffers, Tetraodon Mabu, which is a puffer out of Africa. So we're going to start with this guy, Ian. He's here on the end. This is obviously a young puffer right now for a Mabu. These guys can attain lengths of approximately 2 feet or more in the wild. Hard to say if they'll get that big in the aquaria. I'd say this guy's about 4 to 5 inches long. So like all puffers, they have tooth plates. Some people refer to them as beaks. So they need to find snails and crustaceans and mollusks and things like that that help wear that beak down, because they're kind of like a guinea pig or a rabbit. If they don't get that worn down, they can grow so much that they can't feed themselves and they can starve. So we're going to feed this guy a clam on the half shell. So these are pretty nice. These are also great for triggers, anything with a beak, anything you want to get a good workout or simulate maybe something that it finds in the natural environment. We get these clams on the half shell. These are from Hikari, but I think there's another brand or two that make them as well. So you can see he's making short work of that. He's going to town. So we're going to come back to him. He's
more of the side view one too.
Yeah. This is definitely the crowning jewel that we have in right now for puffers. So we've had these in-house about 2 weeks. So we are ready to start selling them. Typically that's our quarantine. So this guy, I believe, will go on the website Monday. And if you look behind him, you can see a Humpback Puffer. Those guys usually come out of Southeast Asia. They'll get a little bit bigger. We'll feed him some krill. I think he's hungry. So what I love about the Humpback Puffer is those big eyes.
Yeah.
And Humpback Puffers are almost considered an ambush predator. They're not the most active of puffers. A lot of times they will sit and kind of blend in with rocks. You can see they're very mottled and camouflaged on top. They can adapt to their surroundings. Again, not the most active puffer, but definitely a cute puffer. Had those big teddy bear eyes. So next to him, let's go to this guy. These are commonly sold as twin spot or target puffers. If you look at his rear flank, he's got a spot that almost mimics his eye. And what that'll do is that'll detract any sort of predator that might go at him. So he would
inhale that.
Yeah, he would be able to protect his head if he took a blow to the back.
I'm still hungry. So yeah, a quick shout out to Ben there, see you're watching, about the live feeds every week. Yeah, we're definitely looking at starting those up again. So stay tuned. We're definitely excited to start them back up again and start bringing you guys some more regular content.
Yeah, thanks for your patience, guys. We had a little bit of a hiatus, so again, we look forward to doing this. And I think we're going to do these live feeds a little more focused. We're going to try and maybe target just cichlids or certain species, things like that. So let's move one over, Ian, and we'll keep going back to these guys. Back here we have a Black River Puffer.
Oh, there he is.
This guy just came in. Maybe they've been here a week, so it might be another week or so before you see a Black River for sale on the website. And in case you guys are wondering, I'm sure most of you know I am feeding krill. So again, this is another product by Hikari. There's other brands that make it too. And what's great about frozen foods, they're thawed out in 5 minutes and you go ahead and feed them. So Ian, next door here, and we'll go back and give everybody a look at these.
Guys.
So these, I haven't never seen them come in this small. These are baby Fahaka puffers. This is an African puffer. Sometimes they call them the Nile Puffer. As they get bigger, they will get stripes that run down the length of the body from head to tail. So I think sometimes when they're in these small slots, they get confused, the reflection, they don't see where the food is. And to all you guys wondering at home, we don't normally keep them housed in these slots. Obviously these puffers are too big for their enclosure. We just consolidate them, makes it easier for us to show them to you. So they all go back to bigger aquariums after this. So again, these are Fahaka puffers, sometimes called Nile puffers. And I've never seen them this small, so
Beautiful.
These are really cool. And before I forget, I want to give a shout out to Missy at Seagrass Farms. She was kind of filling in the gaps in some of the questions I had. Seagrass Farms is one of our suppliers that we get a fair amount of our freshwater tropical fish from. They've got a great Facebook page if you want to check them out. Lots of videos as well. All right, let's go back to the star of the show. So, getting back to the Maboo puffers, if those of you who aren't familiar with this fish, they command a higher price, and one of the reasons is strictly because of availability. Obviously, most puffers are not bred in captivity. Maboo puffers come pretty much right out of the heart of Africa, kind of central to South Africa, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Burundi, right in the middle there where there is a lot of civil and political unrest. So really at times, it's even too dangerous for the collectors to go out in the wild and get these puffers. And when they do get them, the supply chain is it's so fractured and sorted, it's really hard for them to get them out of the country. They're dealing with all sorts of stuff. They have airlines that frequently go on strike, or they delay their flights because the plane's not full. So we're happy to bring some of these guys to you. We love them, and again, this is a fish that's going to attain a serious length in the aquarium, probably close to 2 feet. If you guys want to see a big one, I've seen a big, beautiful one online. Corey out at Aquarium Co-op in Seattle. That's kind of his showpiece. He's got a beautiful Maboo puffer. It's probably, I think, maybe 20 inches long. Its name is Murphy, and it's a gorgeous fish if you want to see what this thing looks like as an adult. And kudos to Corey because he's got it in a huge tank, properly set up.
I think it's like 800 gallons.
Yeah, right? And it's a beautiful fish.
Yeah, beautiful.
So again, kudos to Corey and his Maboo out there. So yeah, why don't we drop down and show them the pea puffers?
Oh gosh, all right. These guys are so tiny.
So all the puffers we showed you up top were Tetraodon species. These guys are out of India. And these are cute little puffers, sometimes called Indian dwarf puffers or pea puffers. They're not going to get much bigger than this, and this is probably one of the nicer groups I've seen in a while. You can see they've got some good weight on their body. The only thing with these puffers is they're a little picky. The only thing I found they will eat, look at that, he's sucking it up like a noodle. Usually the only thing these guys will eat are bloodworms. Once in a while they might eat mysis, but they literally turn their nose down at brine shrimp. So again, a good puffer diet is bloodworms, mysis, krill, all depends on the size. Obviously the bigger puffers, clam on a half shell, snails, anything that's going to help wear down that beak. So again, this is a great group. These guys are actually on Diver's Den. We sell them in lots of 6. And in case you guys are wondering at home, I know when I was growing up, there's a lot of confusion about puffers. Back in the 80s, everybody thought, oh, they're all brackish. I think all these puffers here, with the exception of the twin spot, that's the only one that might want a little salt in the water. So we do not put any salt in our water here. Our pH is neutral to slightly acidic. We keep it right about 6.5, and they seem to do really fine. And again, for those of you who never ordered fish from us, we quarantine for at least 2 weeks, and we have a 14-day arrive alive, stay alive guarantee. So I think that's probably one of the best ones out there. So you're definitely getting what you pay for when you buy fish from LiveAquaria. And I want to give a thanks to Holly and Patrick. Patrick is our supervisor here in the coral farm, and Holly works under him. And Holly shines up all these tanks and takes care of these fish every day. Her coworker Richie helps on occasion, and they do a great job. We've got about 3,800 gallons of freshwater here, and eventually we will expand. So we're just excited about these puffers and wanted to show something different on the live feed. So let's go back up here. Mr. Maboo. He didn't get any krill yet. So you can see he took care of that clam. Oh, he's getting picky on us.
Oh, is he?
So again, to own a puffer like this is a pretty awesome responsibility. You're going to need a big aquarium. Yeah, he wants the clam on the half shell. And you're going to need a lot of food. You're going to need a lot of filtration and a lot of weekly water changes at minimum. Let's see if he wants another clam. So again, the Mabu puffer is out of Africa, typically in the areas of the Democratic Republic of Congo. And these guys will eat everything from shellfish to small fish to crustaceans.
Ben's got a question. Can we do a video on how to take care of a clam from start to finish, like a Maxima clam?
Oh,
it's a cool idea. I think we definitely look at doing that.
Ben, that is a good video, and if you haven't already seen our video on YouTube, our fledgling YouTube channel, LiveAquaria, please subscribe to it. We do have a video on there on our aquaculture clams and the selection we get from around the world, and we get those from a pretty short supply chain too. We work with some business partners overseas, so.
But we'll definitely take it in consideration.
That is a great question, and we're always open to your guys' ideas. So
anything you want to see, we'll definitely try to
shoot them through Facebook. We all do a pretty good job monitoring Facebook and YouTube, so you can post your questions there, depending on what video you're watching. So we're pretty responsive as far as that goes. So yeah, he's going to town on that clam.
Travis says, I bet they would love some live crayfish.
They probably would. Yeah.
He's digging those clams though, man.
I know, I've seen some videos online where they make short work of live crayfish and live fiddler crabs. I just don't have the heart to do it. That'd be a horrible way to go. So here's a little mysis shrimp. The twin spot likes that, and look at those green eyes.
I love just the color on this one.
Yeah, he's pretty, and again, you can see that tail spot that mimics his eye. So we sell them as target puffers or twin spot puffers, and you'll get a little bit bigger yet.
So we can get that one come back out.
So the Black River's going to town.
He likes behind that rock there.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
And you know, puffers, like other fish, you know, typically we have more decor in here. We wanted you guys to be able to see them. Most of the time, you know, the more decor you have in the tank, once your fish settles in, the more often you're going to see him, because he's going to feel secure. He's going to have plenty of structures and things he can dart in and out of. And again, for those of you just joining us, this is Puffer Week, and these guys are our little Fahaka puffers. These are out of Africa. Sometimes they call them a Nile Puffer. As they get older, they'll lose that dark spotting, and they'll get some sometimes reddish to green stripes going down their back. All puffers have extremely keen eye vision. They can see all sorts of little crustaceans, worms, things like that. They can move their eyes independently. And people love puffers because they learn to recognize their caregivers, and people consider them true pets. So Mr. Mabu over here is working on putting down his second clam on a half shell.
He's taking a break.
He's taking a breather. Whew.
It's like the old 96er there. Great Outdoors, anyone? Bueller. Yeah.
So again, for all of our puffers out there, if you're just joining us, we keep them strictly fresh. The only time we add salt is if they come in and they might have a little bit of fungus on them. Our pH is pretty much right on at 6.5 to 6.5, so we're just slightly acidic to neutral. And we feed them well. Sometimes when the puffers come in, it takes them a week or two to come around. Some of them are kind of shy and coy. A little diminutive, but once they adapt, they'll be your best friend for life. Once they see you coming with that food.
Yeah. Always such social fish. That's what I like about these puffers.
Yeah, out and about. And the other thing you might want to consider with puffers, you can see a lot of these guys are laying on their belly. Typically, they would prefer a sand substrate. or if you have gravel like we have, this is a gravel with a very smooth, rounded edge. Puffers have a softer belly, so you want to prevent any sort of irritation. They like driftwood plants. Most puffers will not chew on plants unless the food lands on the plant. Again, you know, these tanks are a little sparse, but that's just so everybody at home can see them. So it looks like they're all ready for nap time after that heavy-duty feeding we gave them. Let's go back to the pea puffers.
Sure, yeah.
So these guys are pretty much full grown. Again, this is a great group of pea puffers. If any of you nano tank fanatics out there, or people want to have a puffer but don't have a big aquarium, you could get some of these guys. And they do pretty well in a group. You might see a little nipping here and there, but if you look at these guys, look at their fins, they're all in really good shape. You might just see maybe a little notch here and there. They do get along pretty well together. And they are pretty darn cute.
Yeah, I would love to build like a little nano aquarium and just put some of these guys in there. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, they're a great conversation piece. All right, Ian, does anybody have any questions out there?
Well, no, I think that pretty much calls it. So,
okay.
Well, we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, we just wanted to show everybody the puffers we have in, and most of these guys are on Diver's Den. If you're interested in the bigger Maboo, he will be on the website, I believe, Monday. And I think there should be one on there now. Awesome. We've got one or two more in stock, and if we sell them all out, we'll just get a hold of our friend Missy down at Seagrass, and she'll send us some more. So thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Remember those 3 words: feed, siphon, repeat. Have a good weekend.
All right, see you guys later.